All right, guys, so since this is going to be the first video of 2024, this is going to be a special one, okay? By the way, I just got my fingers tattooed. Let me know your thoughts on it. I don't know if you guys are tattoo lovers like I am, but well, that out of the way, guys, this is going to be a special one, for real. I'm literally sharing with you guys a private coaching session that I have with some of my clients inside of ROI Land, okay? There are going to be lots of different topics inside. We're going to discuss our outbound prospecting strategy, how we leverage volume on the one side and quality on the other one. That would be number one. I also break down our entire client acquisition funnel for you guys completely for free. I also talk near the end about how we handle the I don't have money or I just don't have the time objection, and lots of different stuff, guys, because I promise you guys in this video I answered your most frequently asked questions. Okay, so that out of the way, guys, as always, there's a link in the description that shows you how we can help coaches and agencies on a pay on performance basis, meaning that if you don't make more money working with us, we basically lose money. Okay, hope that you enjoyed this one, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. If it's helpful, don't forget to like the video. Bye.
Then I later on transitioned into my own agency,
Okay.
where we help clients set up their whole, client acquisition infrastructure, from cold email, LinkedIn, and basic ads. I'm not an ad specialist, but organic is where we focus a lot,
Okay.
right? I've been good on cold email. The only thing is, like, I'm trying to figure out how to get more results on DMs, right? Because I've sent out like around 1,000 DMs now just to test my overall messaging, and seems like things are not clicking, right? If you were my shoes, or if you were to start a whole new brand new, like, let's say, DM strategy or
Yeah.
organic outbound strategy, how would you go about structuring it, and how to ensure that you're getting maximum success or results out of it?
Okay. So just so I can have some context, what's your niche, man?
Oh yeah, marketing agencies and consultants.
Okay. So you mentioned you're already doing cold email with success, correct?
Correct.
So what makes you want to change the strategy?
Well, diversify the client acquisition.
Okay.
Um,
No, it makes sense. Makes sense. Like, I get it. So, I know that you're quite new to the program, at least the way that we have it set up right now. So, the first thing that I always recommend to all of my clients is that you want to optimize whatever system you want to improve, right? And the order in which you want to go about it is you always want to do, first of all, better, then you want to do more, and at the end, you want to do new. What that means is, like, before you start doing more outbound, make sure that you are hitting KPIs in terms of well, the actual conversion rates that we recommend. So, for example, if you go to the outbound model, you're going to notice that we have for social media prospecting a 10% KPI for when it comes to new message to positive reply rate. When it comes to cold email, the KPI is literally 5%, half of, a 5% reply rate is actually good. Okay, I'm not. If you go and watch the model, you're going to see that we have some strategies that get you 20 plus reply rates, right? So I don't want you to think that you need to just aim for whatever is the lowest, right? The point here is always try to optimize and be better at whatever you're doing. Once you are optimized and you are hitting KPIs in the system, then you want to do more. There's no point in changing the strategy. But assuming that you're already optimized and you're already doing more volume that you can handle, then you can start taking a look into adding new sources or diversification. You see, like, that's how I generally like to think about it. And if you are wanting like a specific DM strategy, I have a method that I call, well, honestly, I don't remember the name that I gave it in the program, but the way I like to go about DM outbound prospecting, Sunil, is the following. You want to do volume, and I always teach 4 different angles that you can use for outbound prospecting. And Brandon, I know that is going to be also helpful for you because I know that you mentioned something on the DMs. When it comes to DM outbound prospecting, we have 4 different angles that I teach, okay? And these are like high-level pillars. This is not like copy-paste template. This is high-level pillars. You either have a value-based approach where you can offer a lead magnet. You can either have a direct sales-based approach where you basically pitch your offer from moment one. And then you have creative-based where you can just, in any sneaky fashion you can think of, get someone to reply using something like, for example, you're targeting local businesses. I know that is not your case, but for you to understand what I mean is, if you're targeting local businesses in your country, you can say something along the lines of, hey, I was walking past your store the other day and I noticed that you guys didn't we're not doing X, Y, and Z. So it's super sneaky because maybe it's a lie, but it's creative and people are more likely to reply when you have an angle like that one, correct? And the last one is honestly, I don't remember the other name that I called it, but it's more like partnership based, which is more how you can give them value, but doing something together with them so that they are more likely to reply. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make with all of these angles is that the goal of outbound prospecting is not just to get calls booked. The goal of the outbound message is to get a reply. Then once you have the reply, that's where you, through appointment setting, you book the meeting. Okay. And then specifically with social media DM strategies, that like what you're saying right now, Sunil, what normally happens is that people just think of social media prospecting as if it was cold email, aka where you can just be direct and you want to save calories in the back and forth, right? When it comes to social media DMs, it should be completely different. You cannot Evan. Evan was struggling for months with appointment setting with his agency. Dude, like he started among campaigns and he started booking like 7 calls first week, something like that, right? And the only difference, or the biggest, not the only, but the biggest difference we started doing in his case, and also for you, Brandon, is when it comes to social media prospecting, you do volume when it comes to sending messages. And then once someone replies, you add people to the who reply positively to the master CRM that I give you guys access to in the program. You keep track of those leads, and those are the ones that you follow up with, and you go a little bit more, you go deeper with them, right? So you can ask them for their phone number, their email, so that you can have a conversation there. Or you see, like you want to separate those two different sections or those two different stages of the prospecting process when it comes to outbound on messages. So was that helpful, man? You're muted, just in case, brother.
It was really helpful. I guess I'm new to the program as well, right? So
Yeah,
the
of course.
guides in the Facebook group, right? That's also some place where I can refer to your content and all the course material you have. Or
Yeah, let me share my screen just a moment. Can you see my screen?
it's loading. Yep, announced that.
Okay, can you see it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you go to the Facebook group, remember this is the client community, right? You go to the guide section, and inside of the guide section, you're going to see that I have this organic validation and outbound prospecting model. Okay, so you can see we have like 15 videos just on everything from outbound principles, about outbound prospecting on social media platforms, cold email, etc. Okay, so what I would recommend you to do is, if you're really struggling with that or if you need some extra support, go ahead and take a look at this model that explains everything correctly. Okay, I even give you guys access to some KPI trackers that you can use to see how optimized your system for appointment booking using outbound is looking like. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question, bro?
I got one more, right? In 2024, what do you see as the, I guess, like the new, or what do you think works best in terms of the client acquisition, like based on the changes that you've seen, right, in the industry, in the game, and so on?
Yeah. So this is actually something that I learned last year, honestly, and it is that what's actually working is being good at whatever you're doing. Okay, and that's really the answer, man. Because I've signed lots of clients on Instagram outbound. I signed lots of clients from my Facebook group organic. I signed lots of clients from YouTube organic. I signed lots of clients with Facebook ads to a Facebook group, right? So everything works, man. But what really does matter at the end of the day is how good you are at every single thing. I mean, if you have any point of leverage, dude, for example, if you're good at cold email, that's what you were mentioning just now, dude, do more cold email. Why on earth are you going to be playing someone else's game, trying to beat them at whatever they're best at when you're good at something already, right? That's what I would say, man. That said, I have an entire roadmap that I don't know where you're at right now in terms of revenue, but let's say that you're doing outbound or you're doing cold emails, right? So you're booking calls, you're making some money, you're signing some deals, right? If you have $5,000 saved that you're really just having like as a emergency fund or something, I would start using that for paid advertising. Okay. And the funnel that I preach is actually what I call the lead center funnel, which is using instant forms, both on Instagram and Facebook. Okay. And adding or sending that lead flow you get to a Facebook group, plus adding YouTube for nurturing those leads inside of the group. That's how I get my clients nowadays. I mean, so realistically, how I get clients is in my Facebook group. But in order to get people inside of my group, I use paid traffic from ads and YouTube organic traffic. That's the two ways in which I get people to my group.
Okay. And how's the metrics looking like, if I may ask, like on a $5,000 ad spend, right? For example,
Yeah.
over 2 months, for instance, let's say I split it across 2 months, I spend 2,500 a month, I guess. And what do you see? What do you see the conversion rates looking like on average? I know that it depends on
Yeah, yeah,
business
yeah, yeah.
based
So I mean, I'm
situation.
pretty good at. I mean, I really mastered my funnel, right? In the sense of I mastered organic inside of the group first before I started doing ads, and I actually give you guys. I mean, I will tag you in one of the coaching calls that we had like 2 weeks ago, because I made an entire breakdown of that about it on clients from for you guys for the clients. And dude, like I was showing you how I from $1,800 in ad spend, I made $47,000, 47,000. So the actual ROAS is like 35x or something, 37x. And I go deep into the KPIs, the SOPs, how I go around it, how we call the people who join the group via warm dials. So that's going to be super helpful for you, man. But
Okay,
that's
I
it.
see.
Those are my KPIs. I also give you some numbers that you can specifically use for your own offer, or that you might be able to use for your own offer. But yeah, those are the numbers. And what really is going to dictate the effectiveness or the ROAS you have from that funnel is going to be your, honestly, man, how good you are at sales. Because even you have 100 calls and you close only two, dude, like of course the ROAS is going to be fucked up, right? So make sure. I mean, that's something that plays a huge role in that. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. May I ask, like, why what about the? I'm just asking it because maybe I'm wrong, or maybe please correct me if I'm wrong. But why not uh, the classic VSL, right? What made you shift?
Yeah, in that video, you also explained that, but the reality is that with the BSL funnel, you either have your leads. I mean, your leads either buy or die in the BSL funnel, right? Like you have your traffic, you send people to a BSL. The BSL needs to convert. If it converts, perfect, you book a call, which is going to be expensive. And if it doesn't convert, dude, like you're going to pretty much waste all of your ad spend, and that people is going to end up in your email list. Period. That's it. The beauty of the group funnel is that not only can you have the scalability of the BSL funnel if you have phone setters who dial the leads of the instant forms, but on top of that, you have more educated and nurtured leads since because they are in the group. Now you're able to nurture them with your YouTube content, your organic content. Plus, since they're on a community, they are able to engage. They partake into what you stand for as a business, so it's much more powerful, in my opinion.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Can you? Yeah, let me know once you tag me. I would love to see the video, right?
Yep, yeah,
And
yeah, 100%, 100%. After the meeting, of course. Right now, I just want to keep answering questions, right? But
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Orlo, how's
guess.
it going, man?
Yo, what's up? Do you hear me, man?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Yeah, yeah, doing good. How's the new year? Happy New Year, fam. By the way.
Yeah, I love it, man. Welcome to that first coaching call, man.
Okay, nice. Yeah, yeah. I see everything's coming together, man. Um yeah, it's actually good. Good stuff. I'm actually not at home yet. I'm going back home today, hopefully, and then everything will be normal again because holidays are crazy, bro.
Yeah, no worries, man. I hope that you had a fantastic end of the year. But yeah, man, here we are in case you need anything from or any sort of support, right? Guys, does anyone else have a question? Brandon, what about you, man?
Yeah, so my niche is landscaping, and originally when I started, I was getting some results with Facebook DMs, and I tried a whole bunch of different outreach methods, and Instagram was just useless for landscaping. Like I sent, I think around like 300 to 400 and got maybe like one response. Like nobody even opened it, and emails didn't really work simply because it took way too much effort and money to even get the emails in the first place that were like semi-warm leads. And cold calling just sucks overall because unfortunately most of the times the business owner is actually on site or doing jobs or whatever, like night and day. So my only options were really just the Facebook DMs because the landscaping people are very active on Facebook. So the DMs worked for a little bit, and then I was actually able to automate it a fair bit because I bought aged Facebook accounts and then proxies, and then I added a couple extensions. So I was able to send out like 100 Facebook messages a day, basically automated. But it started slowing down a lot, right? And then I just decided to stop it because fall and winter were coming, and then basically half of landscaping businesses just die off and just kind of shut down. So focused on my website creation agency for a bit, but as it's January, right, season's starting to come back up, spring's on the horizon. So I decided that, you know what, I want to give it a go, right? Try to hit back at it. So I'm just trying to wonder, you know, what exactly can I do in my outreach to actually gain consistent replies, even because the reply rate right now, or even the open rate, is so low. I have a scraper that I found on GitLab that can scrape Facebook groups, right? So I can have all the members, and then I just put that in an extension, and it just sends out the DMs, right? I don't know if it's my initial messages. Frankly, I don't even remember what the messages were because this was months ago. But I'm not entirely sure what to do because right now Facebook DMs is kind of the only outreach method that was slightly working, and right now it's just kind of it's dying down, right? And I don't know what else to do. I don't want to do cold calls because half the times they don't answer. Just for context, I think one of the biggest important aspects is that landscaping's it's a saturated niche, right? So they get a lot of these, and I know someone here was talking earlier about they were targeting marketing agencies, and I get emails and DMs from marketing agencies or other agencies all the time, and I almost never open it. The second I see it's from a marketing agency, I don't even bother, right? And I think it's the same thing with the landscaping niche. The second I see that it can be even related somewhat to a sale, I don't even bother, because they get flooded every day with it. And I'm just trying to figure out how I can bypass that and kind of try to actually get a genuine conversation with them and hopefully, convert.
Okay. So, well, realistically, there are lots of things going on, right? So the first one would be, man, when you say like you have a terrible reply rate, like what does that look like exactly in terms of the actual number?
Yeah, so the reply rate probably was like 5 to 10% off of like a very basic question. I think one of my best opening messages was, "Hey, would you be interested in a potential partnership?" Right.
Yeah.
And then I say that.
That's great. And if you think about it, man, if you have even, let's just average it out to 7.5%, okay? Dude, honestly, that's a little bit below KPI, but if you send 100 DMs every day, that's let's say 8 positive replies. If that's the actual numbers that you're hitting, which I would guess is actually a little bit higher, man, dude, like the reality is that that's pretty good, man. If you think about it, the bottleneck is not being the reply rate you have on your outbound message. The bottleneck is the conversion between positive reply to a book call. Right? I mean, let's say that you have, again, 7 leads per day. That's actually 35 leads or positive replies per week. Would you say that with 35 positive replies or 35 people who are interested in whatever you said in the initial message, isn't it possible to book at least 10 calls? The bottleneck is converting that positive reply to a book call. And just and not only for you, man, but for anyone here on the call. For example, and not for you, for Evan, for Sunil that you were asking, for Johan. Look at this. In the growth roadmap that I share at the end of the foundational selling content model, I walk you guys through the KPIs and how to troubleshoot and know what to change depending on what your bottleneck is. Okay? So whenever you run your campaigns, the first question you gotta ask yourself is whether or not you're booking meetings. In your case, if the answer to this is no, there are 2 options. The first one is that you are not hitting KPIs or that you're hitting them. Assuming that you are hitting the KPIs and you're still not booking calls, what you gotta do is change the angles. Because even if a niche quote unquote is saturated, Brandon, the reality is that never are you going to, It's not that the niche itself is saturated. It's that the way in which people go and approach the niche to get them attention on something is just overused. That's what it actually means, or what most people refer to when they talk about saturation, right? So, for example, if everyone's saying something like, hey, would you like a paying results appointment booking offer? Or I don't know, like whatever you can think of, because you know your niche more than I do, Brandon. But whatever comes to mind when you think about what everyone is doing for landscapers, what you gotta start thinking of is simply, okay, how can I say something different? Or how can I just get their attention in a different fashion? For example, you can simply, I mean, and please don't do this. This is just an example, right? But you can simply say something like, hey, I was curious about something about your, I'm curious about your business. Do you mind if I ask you something? Or, something like that. You see, like, just change the angle, change the way you approach the initiation of the conversation, so that you can, based on the, I mean, always, of course, hit KPIs and start seeing if you book calls or not. And the beauty of this is that until you start booking calls, and assuming that you're always hitting your KPIs, we remember, should be 150 per day at a 10% plus in reply rate, then you're going to end up booking meetings. Again, imagine that you have, again, worst case scenario, like you said just now, 5% positive reply rate. You send 150 messages per day, brother, that's again 7.5 people per day that are getting interested in what you have to offer, or to at least replying to your message. And then once you start booking calls, the bottleneck is not going to be, oh, am I booking calls or not? It's like, where you're actually closing deals, which is the actually hardest thing, right? But do you see my point, brother? I know that the game of outbound is pretty hard. It's honestly, it sucks, right? But it's part of the game. And the goal is that you actually validate your offer and that you get enough cash flow for you to then start running ads, so that you can detach from that awful task of doing the outbound, and then just start trading more, right?
Yeah.
I mean, does that make sense or not really, man?
Yeah. I mean, just one thing that I'm thinking of is,
yeah,
the initial outbound message that was getting positive replies was so generic. It's just a simple yes or no question that even if I do elicit a response, I found like extreme difficulty on actually converting that to a call, right? I have no clue if I should continue just with rapport building, or if I should then actually say what the partnership is, or if I should, like, what do I say after, like, I even get an answer.
Yeah, I know that you've had clients already. So, like, what have you said when someone replies? I mean, when someone replies to the "Are you open to a partnership?" What do you say?
Oh, so I actually got a unique spin on it. I do some free consulting on the side. So I literally just gave them free advice and say, hey, I could help you guys grow your business for free, right? And then I would actually tell them how they could improve their business, and then maybe some of those people will be able to continue talking, and then I could kind of offer my secondary thing, which is technically my primary thing, which is the marketing agency, and then I try to book a call there. So I tried to go really unique, and then do a completely different thing, and then kind of zone back in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like, well, I would like to see an actual message, because of course, like, I can see a little bit better the tonality, how you phrase it, like the flow of the conversation. Out of curiosity, are you familiar with the combo framework that I talk about in the appointment setting model?
Maybe. I'd have to take a look at it to see if I recognize it or not.
Yeah, it's like the combo framework is the way, or the methodology we use to convert attention to a book call. So combo, CONVO, stands for connecting questions, outcome questions, now questions, vent, offer. That's what combo means. So whenever you get a reply, the first thing you want to do, as the moment you start getting, I mean, I'm talking specifically about social media prospecting, okay? So Sunil, for example, this is not for cold email. It's not that you're going to do a 20 back and forth messages or emails with someone, right? But in social media, you want to always, when someone replies positively, you start asking connecting questions, right? So for example, in my case, the way we do outbound is for group members, right? So I might say like, hey, Brandon, welcome to the group, man. Just tagged you inside of the welcome post. Out of curiosity, are you currently scaling an offer or just getting started? You see connecting questions. That's a connecting question. Connecting question means non-friction, give me an answer so that I can get to know you and you build more trust towards me. That's what connecting questions stand for. Then you want to ask outcome questions, which in your case might be like, Oh, awesome, dude. Like, where are you looking to? Are you looking to stay in Dallas in the next 4 to 6 months, or are you looking to expand outside of this city? For example, assuming that you're talking with a landscaper from Dallas. You see, the point I'm trying to make is always connect first with connecting questions, then outcome questions, like what are they aspiring towards? Now questions, so that you can see like the separation or the distance between wherever they want to be at and where they are at now, and then the vent. The vent is basically asking them what they feel like they need to hit their benchmark, so that you can basically anchor that to offer the call. So let's do a role play right now. Let's say that I said, Brandon, so what do you feel like you need most right now to hit that 50K per month goal that you have?
Better KPIs for social media outbound.
Oh, dude, like hitting KPIs and doing social media outbound is what all of my clients struggle with. So are you cool if maybe I can show you how we solve that on a quick call sometime this week?
Sure.
You see, like that's the goal of asking that outcome question. Whatever you say you struggle with, assuming that it's an actual problem that you can solve, of course, that's what you're going to use as your meat to get them to be hooked on hopping on the call, plus at the same time improving your show rate. Because if you're literally telling them, hey, dude, I'm going to solve that fucking problem you mentioned you have, guess what, man? Like, most likely you're going to attend regardless of whether you want to buy or not, right? Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. That helps a lot.
Man, here to serve, and I hope that you start coming to these calls, man. Like, you come like to a one call every 6 months. They're like, dude, I signed 2 clients. Okay, goodbye for 6 months. Something like that, man.
I've been very inconsistent. I've had a lot of stuff. I'm 17, yeah. So
Yeah, I know, dude, for sure.
I just finished all my college applications, and that took quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I got you for real. But be consistent, and here you are. Whatever you need, okay? Awesome.
Yo, Enrique, I have a quick question, man. Since you're from Costa Rica, as well as me, whenever you take payments, is it on PayPal?
Well, it depends.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because obviously I'm like starting to earn some income, and yeah, I was trying to get like a payment method, but PayPal is the one like available for me right now.
Yeah.
But whenever I create an invoice, the fee it's a little high.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks.
It's the only way, right? It's kind of like the only way.
I mean, it depends on who you're working with. For example, I have some clients from here, from Costa Rica, who we do even transfers, like bank to bank.
Oh yeah. If it was in Costa Rica, then it would be different. It would be bank to bank. But yeah, international clients.
Yeah, it sucks.
Then
It sucks real bad.
then
Man.
pay.
It
Okay.
sucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the answer, man. Suck it.
Cool question.
Suck it.
Is Wise available? Wise is available for y'all, no?
Yeah, it's available, but the issue is that you can only. I mean, dude, like I have like 30 grand on Wise that I will never be able to use unless I get like a debit card from the US, because the only cards that you're able to associate to send your funds towards are a certain type of accounts that only in the US, or not only in the US, but at least are not available here in Costa Rica.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
So
Gotcha.
I do collect on Wise because I prefer to have the cash collected rather than simply losing the lead, let's say.
Yeah.
But I mean, it sucks. Yeah. You can open. Are you familiar with Stripe Atlas?
No, I'm not.
Okay, Stripe Atlas is a way for non-American people or people who don't have access to Stripe in their country to open a company in the US for $500, and you can open up a Stripe account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I also did that, but I was banned, man. I had like a tax issue, so they banned me from Stripe, and I needed to stick with PayPal, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's like being neglected of the possibility of having an online business altogether, man. But yeah, I have to suck it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, because I'm thinking, obviously there's so much to learn right now, because once you start getting some income, then it comes the taxes, and then it comes all that. And my mom always says like, if you're gonna do online money or anything like that, obviously she doesn't know anything about online businesses, but she's like, just try to figure out the taxes and all that stuff, because you can just do not run into issues in the future.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, of course, I'm not familiar on how much money you need for your day-to-day life or how you need to spend or whatever it might be. But something that I did for a long time is I have my bank account is Wink. You know which one that is?
Yeah. I actually have a Wink account.
Yeah. So with Wink, you can use. I mean, you can send to your account up to $2,000 per month without any fee or whatever. The issue is when you collect payments, like you lose like 7% of the actual transaction on PayPal. But from PayPal to Wink, there's not an issue. So that's something that I used to do. And you're not, if that's all you need, you don't need to pay taxes on that because it's really not that much, right? So
Okay, makes sense. All right.
yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Who wants to go next? Evan?
Yeah, so I don't have any question right now. I've been sick for like the last week, so
Oh, really?
I did move all my calls to this week. So yeah, that's where I am. I am right now. I have like 6 calls this week, so just want to close one of them.
Yeah, you're definitely going to, man. And whenever that happens, dude, they want you to make a post or just let us know so that we can celebrate you with that one, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, man. And congrats. Because again, for anyone who is doing outbound, who is not booking calls, Evan, I mean, I want you to tell them, dude, what would you say to them?
I'd say to keep going, test, and I'd say the thing that worked really well for me was focus on appointment setting, because right now my KPI, sorry, about like CRM to call is 30%, and that's what I have like couple calls, and yeah, appointment setting and the Convo framework, it really worked well for me.
Yep. And for the next coaching calls, guys, for real, bring your KPI tracker updated so that I can literally see in real time what the actual bottleneck is. Because a lot of times we might say like, oh, I feel like this is the problem, or I think that this is the case, or probably the reason why I'm not getting the results I'm looking for is X, Y, and Z. But when you take a look at your KPIs, the problem becomes so obvious, like it's really so obvious. Yeah, of course, assuming that you're actually tracking your KPIs, right? So that's something that I really want you guys to start doing. But most importantly, because if you come to the call and you can actually share your screen, I can see the actual conversations, and not only you, like the person sharing the screen, but everyone else in the community is going to benefit from that. Okay, so yeah, guys. Johan, do you have any question or something you would like to say?
Well, actually, I know you're familiar with this. I always said this. I'm currently at work, so I listen what I can listen. But at
Yep.
this time, I think what I can do is take notes. But questions for myself, I don't really have one at this time.
Okay, awesome. Brother, what I would like you to do is, I know that you're pretty much done right with your market research. Please go ahead and book the offer creation workshop, because based on that, we can start having you're going to not only, of course, have your offer, but you're going to have your offer pillars, your sales messaging, and you're going to be able to start doing the outbound prospecting so that you can book calls and getting clients. Okay, man?
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Well, guys, is there anything else you would like to talk about or discuss? I'll be happy to. I mean, we have like 20 minutes extra, but if you guys are done, we can leave it here. What would you prefer?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I saw someone doing something really interesting. I don't know how they were doing it, but they were sending messages through, I think it was Venmo. They were sending their prospects a cent each and with their outbound message. And I've never seen anything like it. And I just want to know your thoughts if that's worth it, because by its sheer uniqueness, or if it should be just completely forgotten. I just find it funny. I don't know if it's actually
Yeah.
viable.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people who have done similar things, like sending $0.1 on PayPal, for example. And the note or the transaction was like, hey, please book a call, something like that, right? I mean, I'm sure that there are lots of things that can work. And that's I would categorize that as a creative based angle for prospecting. Okay. But I would not recommend that to you guys. Like the goal of Outbound, if you're going to use Outbound as your way to book meetings, is to systematically, aka have some sort of some level of predictability using a system, book appointments. And if you're, I mean, the problem with that is like you're going to be relying on the person actually having a Venmo account or the person actually having a PayPal account, right? And the problem with that is that, dude, like not everybody is going to have, right? What everyone is going to have is an email, probably a Facebook account, an Instagram account, or they simply exist on social media. Hence why paid advertising works really well. And that's something that I'm working on for a video. That is how paid ads have something that no other client acquisition strategy has, which is it actually plays with the darkest levels of human psychology. Because if you think about it, people can say whatever they want in public about whatever they think of, but social media advertising works by you being categorized by the algorithms into a certain topic. And if you in your private time or when you're in the bathroom, like in those private moments, you go and start searching for how to make money online as a crypto trader, maybe you will be, for example, in public saying, oh no, those crypto traders, those guys are stupid, for example. And this is an example, right? But if you're actually searching for that stuff because you are actually interested in that, ads will be shown to you, right? And that's something that I really like about the paid advertising, that there's no way to be confused, or you're going to be shown to people who are actually interested in what you have to offer, right? Regardless of whether you prefer Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. So that's something that is quite interesting, and that I believe that plays a huge role in the way in which you can actually penetrate a market, because you're literally talking to people who you might never see following an influencer, aka like scraping hashtags or scraping a follower base of someone, but they're actually searching for the stuff you're offering. So you're actually being shown to them because the platform's categorizing the user in whatever interest they are searching for example, right? I mean, I don't know if that was clear, but I mean, that's something that I've been thinking a lot lately. So
yeah, I mean, once I actually build up the money to start doing paid ads, it's definitely something I'm gonna do.
Dude, it's not like you need $5,000 to get started, man. Like, for example, when I started running ads, I got my first client with only $150, and that's how much I spent to get a multi-four-figure client, right? Of course, I know how to sell really well. I have a lot of content already showcasing my competence, and of course, the funnel itself was already optimized organically. So I know that this is not like the usual thing that is going to happen to everyone, but I mean, people like anything, man. Like you start a business, you don't know what. I mean, for example, when I invested in my first coaching program, for me the idea of Outbound existing, dude, it was crazy. It was like, dude, so should I go after clients? I in my head, it was not a possibility. It didn't make sense, man. And then like you start doing it, and you actually become good at it, right? So the same thing happens with ads. People think that ads is something that you should study 5 years on college to start doing it, but dude, like it's so freaking simple, man. Like once you crack it, it's like, dude, why the fuck did I spend 3 years just raw dogging my whatever, right? So yeah. So not to say that just do 150 and that's good. I would say if you have a budget of at least 1,000, go ahead and do it, right? Alberto.
Hey, bro. Sorry, man. I mean, can I? Yes. All right. So, anyways, I had a meeting I forgot that I had a presentation at 10. All right. So your meeting was starting at 10, and I didn't have time to let you know. So I just finished talking to the lead right now. So yeah.
How did it go with your calls, man?
Well, I think I kind of I had everything. I had my my offer on one screen, and then I had the script on the other screen. So I was following both, but it was the first time, so I was like, okay, this is not gonna be perfect, right? Yeah, so but the lead, okay, so she said she didn't have any money, man. Like I should have probably how to say it, filter that a little bit better, but that's okay. She might hire a virtual assistant. I think she's gonna go for it, but I didn't close it, but but at least she's gonna hire a virtual assistant. So I got
Yeah.
something there. But I got two more. I got two more today that I need to arrange for and one of them she's a commercial broker, so I think she's gonna have issues with money, right? So we'll see. Okay, so there's
Never go to a call expecting for the person to have issues with money. Otherwise, man, I know that this sounds super woo, man, but if you assume that someone doesn't have money, dude, you're not going to do your best to try to close the person, and you're not going to close the person. Okay.
That's true.
Out of curiosity, when this person said like, "Oh, I just don't have the money," like, how did you went about the objection handling?
I told her, hey, we can do payments. All right, we can do payments. 1,000 per month. I mean, and then 1,000 next month, whatever. So, but she said she didn't. I was like, okay. I was like, how much you have? She was like, I don't have any. I don't have anything. I'm like, damn. Okay, so I couldn't do anything there. I mean, at that point, I knew it was dead. So, but everything. So far, like the presentation and everything. I mean, she liked. She said, I'm sure this can help me out. Blah 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 blah. So yeah.
Okay. I mean, like, of course, there are lots of things that I would like to talk about. Unfortunately, we just have like 10 extra minutes, so we cannot do like an entire role play. But how did you? I mean, when you were pitching your offer, how did you pitch it?
Well, remember what we worked on in the offer creation workshop?
Yep.
I just basically read that thing.
Okay.
I went through it.
Okay.
And then at the end, it's when so keep in mind I had the script on the left, the script on the left screen, and the thing of the offer on the right. And
Don't tell me that the person was seeing the actual sales script while you were pitching.
No, I wasn't sharing. No. Actually, what I showed you, I sent you a picture of what I shared on my screen, the 3 pillars thing. That was the screen that they were looking at.
Okay, gotcha.
No. And
dude, like, what happened to me? Like I said, hey, I share my screen so that I can walk you through. Dude, like, and they were saying, like, dude, do you want me to read that or do you want to say it out loud? The person said, like, I was like, fuck, man, I'm telling you, you were saying this. That happens, man. That happens. But yeah, dude, like, the most important thing, honestly, it's twofold. Okay, the first one is how you actually demonstrate that you understood the person and whatever they said in the discovery phase by linking whatever pain points they shared to the pillars. So, for example, I don't remember your pillars, honestly, but let's say that I was pitching my offer and you mentioned that you are running ads, but they are just not converting. So you want to do something else, right? For example. So the way I would go about the first pillar, which in my case is called foundational positioning, what I would say is something like, so listen, Humberto, in order to help you, get those ads to start converting again, we have to focus on foundational positioning. Because, man, like, most people think that their ads don't convert, but reality, man, is that your ads are not going to convert, your content is never going to convert, or your outbound DMs are never going to convert if you don't actually develop a compelling sales messaging argument to your niche. So the person is going to be like, oh, dude, so it's not the ads, it's this other thing. You dissipate that problem into another proposal or another situation that actually anchors the decision of the lead in whatever your pillar is all about. And then what that means is that if they buy that idea that you just shared with them, it doesn't matter what you sell, like coaching agencies, an agency solution, consulting, or a course. They say, like, dude, I don't care. I just need to have that sales messaging so that my ads work. You see?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the effect that you want to have when you're pitching your offer and talking about the pillars. Actually connecting your pillars to the pain points. And of course, if the pain points are actually relevant to your niche and to your lead and your niche as a whole, then that's how a pitch actually is scalable, right? That's the one part, like the way you go about the pitch. And of course, objection handling, which is by far the hardest thing, right? But for example, if someone doesn't have the money or they say, dude, like, I just don't have time. Honestly, man, like, I will not be giving any names, but pretty much all of my clients who are here, whenever we were on a call, they were said, like, dude, I cannot pay everything in full, etc. And dude, like, what you gotta do instead of saying, okay, so how much you have available? Let me pitch you that. Okay, what you want to do is simply say, like, okay, man, that's not a problem. So outside of the money, do you see how this process that I just broke down is going to help you get outcome, whatever outcome you're pitching, right? So they might say, like, yeah, man, really just about the money, or yeah, man, 100%. If that's the case, it might be like, okay, gotcha, man. So are you open to having a financial conversation transparently, or a transparent financial conversation, for example? If they say yes, then you can ask, okay, man, so I think that I can have some ideas, but just so that I know what we're playing with, how much do you have available right now? Because if you're going straight up for you, so how much do you have available? It feels like you're just looking to take their money. Like you don't care about them, you just care about their money. So instead, if you do it like that with that cadence, it looks it looks very natural. It feels like it's just the right thing to do, and you're trying to help them. So they're much more likely to actually being transparent, number one, and number two, actually telling them, actually getting inside, right?
Mm, I'm gonna make a note of that.
Yep. What else, guys?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I had this outreach agency for a bit, and they were pretty good. They got me 10 qualified bookings for real estate. I switched niches for a little bit during the winter, but they got me 10, quote unquote qualified, and I have a professional closer, and he said that majority of them weren't actually qualified, right? They weren't actually super interested, and they weren't actually, really looking to buy my service. And I had that conversation with the actual outreach agency, and what they told me is that there's really no such thing as qualified, because it's all a matter of sales skills. It just means that my closer wasn't good enough. And he said that back when he used to do sales himself, even if they didn't have any money, right, he would simply be so good at sales that the people would take out a loan for him, right? And that brought up an interesting question for me, where it was, okay, is it my, what actually is a qualified appointment if technically the only issue is sales, and then I have to figure out how to balance that.
Yeah. So Brandon, for you, what I would say, man, is, and of course this is don't take this personal, but you cannot delegate what you don't know. And of course you can improve your sales game, your sales skills, but dude, if you don't know how to sell or how to close, or you have not closed to the level that you'd like to, you shouldn't be delegating your sales. Why? Because people can come and say whatever, and because you don't know, you might be like, okay, yeah, you're right, and then you're being pretty much screwed at that point, right? And of course, I always like to have this radical transparency to all of your clients in terms of I really want whatever is best for you. You shouldn't be delegating your appointment booking. You shouldn't be delegating your sales or your actual closing. You shouldn't be delegating your fulfillment to a media buyer or to whatever. Dude, you gotta learn the skills of running a business. So all of this to say, this is the first part that is more fundamental than the actual problem. So that's number one. Number two, when you're saying, that these guys said whatever, yeah, they can say whatever. I don't care. The reality is that, yeah, of course, I also don't believe in the concept of unqualified lead, not because of their sales skills, but because what I believe that exists are people or leads who don't trust you enough for them to do whatever it takes to join or to buy your stuff. That's what I believe in. Why? Because, and again, this is no insult to anyone. I myself come from a third world country, okay? And dude, the first guy who I ever booked a call because I wanted to buy a coaching solution, dude, they canceled my call because they said, oh, this guy from Costa Rica, he's a VA, he doesn't have money. And honestly, I didn't have money at that time, so they might be they were right about it. But the point I'm trying to make is, I had people from Costa Rica, from India, from whatever country in Latin America, from Africa, who pay me thousands of dollars, $10,000 even. Okay. So the idea that, oh, certain people are unqualified doesn't really, it doesn't make sense, because some people might say something along the lines of, oh, dude, I'm willing to invest, but I don't have resources, so people cancel the call. But the reality, again, man, is that if people are hopping on a call, you have a good or an effective sales process, you communicate the value of what you have to do, dude, even if it's half of the price point that you were naturally going to pay them, they might be able to join. Right? All of this to say, man, eliminate that idea that there are leads that are unqualified. Again, what exists are people who simply don't trust you enough for them to pass their money to you, man. That's the only thing that exists. Of course, some people are actually unqualified, but it's not that they are unqualified, it's simply that they don't have resources. So if you actually, even at that point, if you have a good sales process, you might be able to have them join your service or your offer 1 month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. So instead of just cutting everyone who you feel isn't qualified, and I'm not saying that you're doing it, I'm just saying in response to these guys who I don't know who they are, that's what I would say, man. Again, I have people from third world country who pay me $10,000. So
Gotcha. Thank you. That's good insight.
yeah, same thing goes for people who are young. Some people say, like, for example, you, Brandon, when you joined the program, you were like 16. If I was like, dude, this guy is 16, how are you going to afford my thing? Dude, you came in. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there is no such thing as unqualified leads. Again, if that happens, just improve your marketing. That's it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So, what now, bad boys? Anything else?
I guess I'll end it off with a quick story on that closer part. So around the beginning of the year, I started booking more calls in for my business, right? And I was like, I got the, I started puffing on my chest a little bit. I know how to book calls. I know how to do this, that. So naturally, the next step was, I don't want to take him. I'm gonna hire a closer, right? I ended up going through like one closer, and I was like, this guy, he basically closed me. He sold me on why he should close for my offer, right? Keep in mind, at that point, my closing rate was pretty good. I ended up bringing the closer on board, and my closing rate went all the way down, right? So I was like, what the hell is going on, man? Like, this guy's supposed to be an expert, right? He told me that he's closed, this and that. The truth is that they just say whatever their program tells them to say, right? They literally, one of my friends, he's now running a closing offer, and he used to buy all these courses, and they just tell you what to say to kind of like be like, oh yeah, like this guy's I'm gonna give this guy a call and he's gonna close him for like $10,000. That's not always the case. And in one of those calls, I actually jumped in the middle of the call just to check on him. I was just gonna jump in and jump out, say it was a mistake, right? Guy didn't even have his camera on when he was like trying to sell to the client, right? Like just talking to him, like if he didn't want to be there, I was just like, yeah, like that's a no-go. That's when I learned that if I truly wanted to do something right, like I know delegation is like the top thing that everybody thinks of when they're scaling a business. Like I don't want to do it myself, but it's kind of just like things that you have to unlock along the way, skills that you have to have in your arsenal in order to actually produce a good business, right? And if you try to shortcut the way by hiring someone that you find randomly that DM'd you, then it more than often never works out.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Right? More than often it works out.
100%. 100%. And yeah, man, 100%. I mean, I can add more to that, but we're running out of time. So I want to be respectful to all of you, right? So, guys, as always, thank you for your time on this call. Whatever I know that I love you all. If there's anything I can do for you, we're literally one message away. So, yeah, guys, thank you for coming. Let's have a fantastic year, because this is the first mastermind call of the entire year. So I'm super excited for that. Thank you for trusting in us. But yeah, guys, please keep taking action, track your KPIs, and well, see you in the next one, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you.